Hi, I'm Michael Brito, and I work for a large brand called Intel. We are a chip manufacturing company, and we actually use social media to connect with customers. And it's kind of a hard situation because we're an ingredient brand, so it's much difficult for us to have that direct conversation and relationship with our consumers. But what we found is that by using the social web and being conversational and using a lot of tools out there, some of which you've probably heard about, blogging and Twitter and Facebook, we found a very easy path for communication. So now we have the opportunity to reach out to our constituents and consumers and really begin that relationship. And it's not about pushing, one-way marketing messages or sending out offers. It's just about saying hello and finding out what their needs are, finding out how they like the brand, what their concerns are, and using that as a collective tool of knowledge from the community and make decisions on it. And it's been a great learning experience. And one thing that we really try to do is that we don't just, because there's a lot of popularity of tools out there, there's hundreds of tools that you can use to connect with consumers. The top three are, of course, blogs, Twitter, and Facebook. And I think from our perspective, and from my perspective, is we look at tools last in the process. We first want to understand who are the people that we are trying to reach, and where do they actually hang out, because they're not going to come to Intel.com all the time. What they will do is spend time in Twitter and in Facebook and other tools out there, and then we try to insert ourselves in those conversations in an authentic way and being completely disclosing who we are. And it's proven to be a very great opportunity to kind of build that rapport with consumers. And then eventually what happens is you become a trusted advisor within Twitter or a third-party blog, and you end up bringing that community back with you on Intel.com and within our blog. So we then fish where the fish are, and then through relevancy and through education and relationship, they come back to Intel.com.
So you represent Intel, which is a very well-known brand. So it's very familiar, and so you bring already with you some sort of credibility and reputation. Are some of the techniques or strategies you're using, can those be applied to small businesses that people haven't heard of? Can they use the same tools the same way?
When you think about social media, it really goes back to the DNA of the core of our DNA, humanity. And we are all involved in you and I are talking now, but we are building that relationship. We have a connection, and we have connections in our churches, in our community groups, in various face-to-face organizations. And what's happening is it's just translating online. And so the tactics and strategies may change, but the reality is it really boils down to the people and who they are. And if you come as yourself, which I do, I mean, everybody knows I work for Intel, but I am also Michael Brito. And when I come and interact with people, they know who I am, they know who I work for, and I'm very careful that I don't just inundate them with marketing messages. It's really about establishing that relationship, and then, I try to follow an 80-20 rule, where 80% of what I write about or tweet about or share on my wall is personal. It could be about myself, my kids, the Lakers, whatever my personal passions are. And then 20% is about Intel. And I get a high click-through rate, and it's been awesome because, the community they trust me enough to click on the information that I send to and comment, etc. And I use that same methodology for Twitter and everywhere else I participate.
Yeah. So where can we find you online? You're on Twitter. Where can people connect with you?
Sure. So I have one handle, which it's Britopian, Britopian. That's my Twitter handle. It's also .com is my blog. And I really try to talk about social media from a business perspective, just mainly because that's where my core experience comes from, working in big brands. And I think the same terminology or same framework can be applied for small business too.
Right.
It's just understanding the people, their needs, and then providing value.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Great tips, Michael. Thanks.